This is a video lesson for Module 5, Lesson 5. The Module 5, Lesson 5 learning target is I can decompose unit fractions using area models to show equivalence. So we're going to be looking at fractions in a couple different ways today. So we're continuing to build our understanding and our strategies for viewing fractions in different ways. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first example. Scroll over here. And I'm going to be showing with this area model how 1/5 is equivalent to 2/10. So I'm going to get started by shading in the original fraction here. So the 1/5, I'm going to shade in 1/5 on my area model. So one of the 5 parts. So far I have shaded in 1/5. To demonstrate how 1/5 is equal to 2/10, I'm actually going to split the area model in half lengthwise. So I'm going to draw my line right now. Let's see if I can get a straight line here. So what I've done is I've created now 10 equal parts. So now I'm working with tenths. So hopefully you can see I have all these small sections of the area model are all tenths. And so you can see that the piece that was originally shaded in as 1/5 is now shaded in as 1/10 right here and another tenth right here. So we can see that that original 1/5 is equal to 1/10 plus 1/10. And so if you recall from our last lesson, we can actually represent this 1/10 plus 1/10 as a multiplication sentence. So it is equal to 2 times 1/10, because I have my 1 and 2 copies of 1/10 up above. And 2 times 1/10, of course, would be 2/10. So that's going from our area model and then representing, so we have 1/5 to 2/10 in an area model. Then we're demonstrating that equivalence with an addition sentence, and then finally with a multiplication sentence to show that 1/5 is equal to 2/10. So let's go ahead and move on to another example here. This time I'm going to be demonstrating how 1/3 is equal to 4/12. So once again, I'm going to shade in my original fraction here. Let's use red this time. So I've shaded in 1/3 of the whole. And now I need to think to myself, well, how many sections or how many horizontal lines do I need to draw in order to create 12 equal parts in my area model? And so if I see that I have 3 here, I think I'm actually going to need to create 3 separate straight lines here. So I'm going to try to do that as best I can. Let's see, I'm going to start down the middle here. There's 1. All right, so I've partitioned my diagram now, and you can see that each of the parts, if I counted up my parts, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've created 12ths in each of these small little rectangles. So now if I labeled the unit fraction within the shaded region here, I would have 1/12, 1/12, 1/12, and 1/12. So if I were to add all those 1/12ths up together, I would have 4/12. So I can show this equivalence not only with the area model, but with an addition sentence. 1/3 is equal to 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. And I can also do it with a multiplication sentence because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of 1/12. That's also equal to 4 times 1/12, which of course is equal to 4/12. So you can see that 3 different ways. So So I have 1, 2, 3 different ways to show that 1/3 is equal to or equivalent to 4/12. So finally, let's move on to the last problem here. And this last problem asks us to show that 1/2 is equal to 5/10 using an area model. So in order to do that, I'm going to start by shading in 1/2 of my area model. Let's use blue for this one. And now I'm going to need to partition it horizontally to create tenths. So I know I need to create tenths because I have tenths as the fraction that I'm trying to find that it's equivalent to. So I'm thinking, well, if I have 2 parts now, I need to multiply that by 5. So I'm going to try to create 5 sections horizontally. So let's see if I can do that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So not exactly super even there, but it's pretty close. With my models, I'm just trying to be as accurate in my drawings as possible. But you can see now that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal parts. So that means that each of these small sections is worth 1/10. And so the shaded region hasn't really changed in size, but it has changed in the number of parts. So if I were to label the unit fractions for each of these parts, I would fill them up all with 1/10. I could see that my original of 1/2 is now, let's see if we can zoom out here a little bit, equal to the sum of all of these tenths together, and I can see that there are 5/10 in total. So once again, I can show this equivalence with an addition sentence. 1/2 is equal to 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10. And all I did there was add up all the tenths that I saw in the area model here, and there was 5 in total. And I know that that's also equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of 1/10, or 5 times 1/10, which of course is equal to 5/10. So hopefully now you can see that it's not too difficult to find equivalent fractions using the area model. And we can use that area model to help us figure out the equivalence with an addition sentence, also with a multiplication sentence. So you should be ready to tackle all the problems in the Lesson 5 problem set. But if you get stuck, remember you can always come back, rewatch the video, and check in and refresh yourself on anything that you might be confused about. So good luck with your problem set, and thanks for watching.